it's been well documented that 6 weeks when you start the school year from late August to the end of September is a long time. They want to play games. It gives us a chance to get the details and the purpose to our game, through the process. I think starting Friday it's 5 games and 9 nights, all against great teams. That's okay. I know our guys are excited about it. We went to work today knowing it was a short week, but because of as much as we practiced, even though they all haven't been structured practice, whether it's captain's practice or whatever, I think they're ready to play games, and we'll learn through the games.
Then do you like playing a bunch of non-league games before your league games?
Yeah, I don't really know any different, and we like that. In the past, it's obviously been before CCHA games. Now with the WCHA, I think we're looking at November 1st and 2nd as our first 2 WCHA games, and we're, for us, they're all opportunities. I know what you're saying, and I think the answer to that is yes, we like playing the non-conference games, but they all count. They don't count towards our league standings, obviously, but they count towards our overall record, and that's just the way it falls. I think maybe next year we might have a couple of non-conference games and the league series, and then a couple more non-conference games, something like that. But the way it shakes out this year, it's pretty much 6 up front, and then get into our league, and then we play a couple more at Christmas time. So, yeah, we like it.
And then you've already mentioned it. They go on your overall record, and then if you're as good as you think you might be, the games will be important.
Yeah, that's not the primary reason at this point of where this journey that we've been through at Bowling Green, but we hope that these games start to make a difference. We know Union's going to be the national picture. We think Ohio State will. We think Colgate will. Wins against teams like that. Hopefully that's part of our discussion when we come, January and February, that, hey, remember those games at Union, they mattered, because we did well. That's the type of program we want to have with those discussions, where the non-conference games start to have national tournament implications. Again, you know how we feel about this thing. Is this the time we kick that door down and start having those conversations? We hope so. But that's part of a reason we want to have a good, challenging non-conference schedule.
A lot of new faces at Union this year, but still a very good team.
Yeah, and we don't know a whole lot about them. It was a year ago almost to the day that we saw them last time. They've got some great talent. They're 2 years removed from a Frozen Four appearance. I think they were a little bit more up and down last year, but they came in here and took two games from us. I know they were right there at the end. They were in the national tournament. They've got an All-American in Gostisbehere who has played on the World Juniors, and I think the Bodie, the defenseman, is outstanding. Probably a little bit unproven in goal because Grosnick played a bunch of the games, but I know that they talk about Colin Stevens, who's a guy that can play. So we're expecting it to be a very challenging series, but one we're excited for because this is the type of talent that we're going to face in our league every night, and we're looking forward to seeing where we're at this time.
Augustus Bodie really gave him some nice offense.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and we got hit right in the face with that last year. You think of that series, and we've been watching that series. That's really all we have. As far as we can tell, Union hasn't played a game. They haven't played a Canadian University team, so not even an exhibition at this point. And the special teams really killed us last year. It just did. And I look at, I'm not sure what Bodie's first name is, but the defenseman, I know he had a brother on the team as well. He was outstanding that series. He was just great. And Gostisbehere is a guy that is dangerous every time he's on the ice. Daniel Card is returning. He led their team in goals last year. They're a team that when you don't do what you're supposed to do in the penalty kill, they take advantage of power plays, and they have for this is going back since when Nate was there, and now it's continued on with Rick Bennett as their coach. Their special teams are always really strong, in particular the power play, and those two guys are huge parts of it. We don't know if last year they were separated. You know, Bodie was on one and Gossespierre was on the other. I don't know if they're going to be together this year. We don't know that. That's one of those things with not having some lead-up tape or whatever, but that's okay. You know, we'll adjust and we'll react to what we see. But we know the special teams are going to be a huge part of it, and those two guys in particular make the power play go.
So you expect the series to be about playing on the edge, but staying on the edge and not taking the discipline penalties? That's going to be one of your biggest factors this week.
That'll be every series. That'll be every series. We expect our team to play on the edge. Anything over the line or over the edge is out of control, and you're risking. Not only are you risking poor penalties, but not being in where you're supposed to be. I think early in the year, referees across the country in college hockey are trying to set the tone. It's going to be no different this weekend. It was the same last year at this time with CCHA refs. It'll be the same with ECAC referees. They'll be setting the tone, not only for the season, but for the weekend. And we have to be ready on both sides of it. And last year, I'm not saying they didn't deserve, they deserved both games, but they outplayed us so significantly on the power play, and in special teams, generally speaking, that it was the difference in the series. I think it'll be a huge part of the series, but Kevin, it'll be the same thing every series. To us, special teams, for the most part, are the difference night in and night out.
What are the travel plans for Union?
We'll leave late tomorrow night. We'll get there first thing Thursday morning, have breakfast, have a pregame, or have a practice Thursday midday, and then relax the rest of the day. Then it's kind of like what a normal travel weekend would be. That's what our new the travel in the new league is going to look like when we go to Bemidji and Mankato and places like that. We'll kind of go through the night on Wednesday, get there first thing Thursday, and then go about our day. So we'll see how it works. This will be the first time. I know that's what they did when they came here last year. Is they because we were practicing Thursday morning, they arrived as we were practicing. So it's a long trip, and I think for that reason, going through the night on Wednesday is the best thing to do.
So you'll be taking the sleeper bus?
Yeah, it'll be our first experience on the sleeper bus.
And will Brent take play this weekend?
It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I think you know by now how our practice, if you don't practice, you don't play rule is, and Brent hasn't practiced to this point. And in a normal week, Tuesday would be kind of the cutoff day. If you practice Wednesday forward, you'd be fine. He did not feel good today. Not that he felt worse, but he's not feeling a whole lot better. So I don't see him skating tomorrow, in which case the weekend is becoming less and less of a reality.
How did he get hurt?
I believe it was the collision in the middle of the ice there early in the game. I think he played a couple more shifts after that, but that was the end of it. The defenseman stood him up, and I think they both ended up going down. And I think it was just where it hit him. More of a bruise thing, muscular thing is what we think and hope. But I believe it was maybe midway, 3/4 of the way through the first period, something like that.
Chest area.
Yeah, exactly, chest area, yeah. You know, shoulder, collarbone, those are fine in terms of, the bone structures is there, and there's no fracture or anything like that. It's just something that he's struggling, it's sore.
How many guys are you taking to Union?
We'll take 22. You know, we'll have our pretty normal travel roster in terms of the players.
What do you like about Sean Walker?
You know, I think Sean is proving to all of us that he's a guy that there's lots of layers to his game. He's a guy that can defend. He's a little bit undersized, I guess, but he's got some pop to his game. He can be physical and will be physical. And then from an offensive standpoint, I think he's very efficient. He doesn't hold on to the puck too long. He seems to make the right plays most of the time. He's a real smart player, so the system is not something that he struggled with. I think he's picked it up real quick the way we want to play. And I think he's a guy that can really skate. So if he gets himself into trouble, he can always make up for him just with his feet. So there's lots of what we like about it. We've thrown him into the fire, obviously, with some power play time. I mean, without without Mingo playing, who's a guy that's kind of played the point of the power play before. We're looking at Sean to play those minutes and to fill that role. And then he kills penalties as one of our 6D. So where you can kind of monitor the ice time of the guys up front, the freshmen, with in terms of special teams especially. Sean's a guy that's been thrown right in there. So he's handled that very well. We like that about his game too. There seems to be maturity to him. So he's a guy that we, every day that goes by, there seems to be some real high potential there.
Granted, it was only an exhibition game, but it seemed the other 4 freshmen played pretty well Saturday night as well.
Yeah, no, we talked about this after the game. I thought the 3 forwards played very well. I know that Dufort was the only one that didn't score, but he made a couple of great plays, and it seemed to me that he was close. Mercier is a guy that, again, there's a lot of layers there. He's got some size. I think the biggest thing for him is just getting used to the level and getting physically stronger. And then Matt Polkamp, I think Matt kind of got painted with he's more of a checking type guy. He's a guy that he's put up numbers before. He put up good numbers in the North American League. He put up great numbers in high school. He was feeling his way around the USHL, then he got hurt. So he wasn't able to put up many numbers in the half year that he was in Fargo. But he's a guy that we feel can really chip in. And then Thomas Scholl, we've talked about Thomas plenty. He's going to play, and people are going to see him. So he's someone that we'll see what he does with that opportunity. We don't feel there's any reason why he shouldn't take full advantage of it, just like other freshman goalies have done. So it's a group that's contributing without having to carry the load. Sean probably had the most ice time of all those guys, and that's just because, with some guys out for suspension or injury or whatever. But I think they've proven to us that, hopefully they can get more and more involved as the season goes on and they get more comfortable.
Anybody else hurt besides Tate coming out of it?
Ryan Carpenter's his hand is banged up. I don't know if it'll get in the way of him playing or not. We're still not sure of that. Other than that, we're pretty good. We came out okay.
And then you said it wasn't likely that Dejan wasn't going to play after
Right.
the
Yeah.
game.
Dejan won't travel with us this weekend, but starting next week, he'll be right back in the fold.
Still encouraged about what you've seen from the power plays so far?
Well, encouraged, yeah. We've had one exhibition game, so it'll get tested this weekend, and we're going to need them to make a positive impact on the games, both Friday and Saturday. So the question for, next week probably.
Yeah. Good.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.